Hey everybody, I'm EPH and welcome to World Turtles. Now I was looking through my Steam library for upcoming games and I came across this and I shot the developer a message kind of asking a few questions, and he shot over an unlocked demo key to kind of showcase some of the content. So huge shout out and thank you to Recog, and with that, let's get going. All right, so the concept of World Turtles is you're on the back of a turtle in space, kind of flying around. Now you can zoom out and see the turtle. You can see the swimming through the space. You can see kind of its offspring, and with Q and E you can rotate, and then with W, A, S, and D you can zoom around. You can also do some of the zooming with the right mouse button. Right now some of the keybinds are not quite bound in, it is on the to-do list. Now for buildings, you just simply click on the construction and you would start with something like settling. Now this game is kind of similar to some, but kind of a little different to others. This little dotted line represents our borders, and we cannot build past that. In order to build past that, we need a builder's yard. So I'm going to go ahead and build one right on the edge here, and then I'm going to hold shift so that I can build another one kind of over here towards the border on this side. Now with this, we're going to need to do some exploration to unlock some tasty items like these yams, and with that we're going to get a wanderer's cabin, and this is the explorer's hut. In order to make sure we have all the resources to do all the stuff and all the things, we need a stone cutter, and the stone cutter I'm going to go ahead and throw next to this pile of stones, and then we're going to need a wood cutter's cabin. And just to make sure that I have a big area for a farm, I'm going to go ahead and throw them up here by this group of timber up here. There are a lot of icons on the screen. Some of them, something like this cabbage, if we click on it we can harvest them. Others, we can see sheep. If we hover over it, you can see that you have discovered some sheep, and it says wanderers have or should survey the area. And this indicates that a wanderer, once you construct it, should come over and survey them. You cannot directly tell the surveyor to go survey it. They will kind of just go survey that area. But what you can do is you can prioritize that area, and then what they'll happen is after they survey the area, if they have enough experience, they'll go start researching those projects. Now with this, we should go over a little bit of the UI, and kind of starting up in the top corner, we have our basic resources. Now, right now, we just have wood, stone, shard, and then metal. As the game unlocks, you're going to see that expand a little bit. This is climate, and you can see that as we swim through space, you can see the climate changes. This is the health and well-being of our city. We can do a flyby, and that will be how we close. Down here, we have what buildings we have built in the settler buildings, and then we go over to the gather, and right here we have interacting, which we have not unlocked yet. Then we have our population control, and one of the very important population control is this one right here. This is two people with an hourglass between them, and it signifies that we have idle people. And if we were to take a look at our building, you can see that the first part of the cost of the stonecutter's mason is 2 idle people. So without those, you just simply cannot build. And then over here we have our realm's capacity. So this is the dwelling capacity. This is our supply. It's the number on the bottom is the supply that's needed, and the number on top is the access. Then we have our peel, and again, these numbers are, this is early access, so these are a little bit weird on how they're displayed, at least to me. And in time they might become a little bit more common to me. I guess that's the way that I'm trying to say that. And this is order, and order comes through research, so that's a little bit of a funky thing. And the last thing on the UI over here is we have our research. Now we'll go over research once we have unlocked some things. We should probably speed up time, and now time is bound to 1 through 6, so you can go all the way up to 6 and move your speed all the way to 6 times. And you can see over here we have an active fault line, and it's erupting and doing some crazy things, moving some rivers and things. So we have 2 fault lines, and that will kind of govern our territory. Now as soon as we get a couple extra people, which it looks like we did just get, we'll go ahead and get another explorer going. We'd like to kind of explore the area. quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that over here next to these rocks. I don't want to get them too close to the water in case we can build on the water in time. And you can see right here, this is our property line. So we do want to continue to push that, and we just got a notification that we need a farm. So let's go ahead and head back over to the gather. Let's get a farm right there. And once this builds, I'll go over the UI. Let me go ahead and close out that. There are specialized tasks that we can build, and they unlock over time. We can tell, first we can designate how much of this job goes to each thing. As these unlock, I'll kind of go over this a little bit more. Let's go ahead and construct some roads, and we'll probably construct roads for pretty much everything, and that will head back to the city center. There are a lot of different pop-ups because this is the early access. We should have a farm going fairly quickly here. Let's go ahead and push out another builder's cabin, and we'll go ahead and throw it right here. If we scroll out, we can see that there is a town over here and there's a town over here. And if we don't expand quick enough, we will run into an issue where we will get soft cap where we can't expand. We have a couple of crops, and by clicking the little red icon, we can decide what we're going to plant. If we plant vines, you can see that the first scheduled gets +1 heart, and then by planting them in general, we get 1 heart plus we get a food. So this first one will instantaneously get us 2 hearts. Now, if we do this again, we'll only get the 1 heart from just growing it. We won't get the 1 because it's the first scheduled. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to cabbage. The other one on the list is corn, and corn is more of a heavier hitter when it comes to food versus something like the cabbage and the vines. So some of them produce better and some of them produce less. And then we have some icons like right here, and this signifies that there is a harvestable item underneath. You can see that there are fish in the water. We can click to harvest them, and you're going to see that it's going to pick up some resources and some happiness. And we can also see that there are ions kind of right on the edge of our border that it looks like our explorers are exploring. We've got a couple of idle people. We've got 6 idle people, so we've got a little bit of expanding that we can do. In my first game, I experienced where I didn't have enough foresters in order to produce wood, and I actually soft capped myself. So I'm going to go ahead and throw another stonemason and another forester down. We'll get him right there, and then we'll get another farm. And I just saw a spot highlight where a farm could be, so we'll throw that there. And we're just getting a notification that we need a research hub. So under improvements, we'll go ahead and grab that research hub. So we'll throw it right there, and you can see that it has a radius, and everything has to be within that radius. So we're going to go ahead and head over here, and we're going to build one on the edge here. And you can see that there is a radius coming from over here. So the city is kind of encroaching upon our territory. And we have a pop-up that we have neighbors, and we can see kind of the boundary there. And they are building right on that boundary. So I'm kind of happy that I was pushing pretty heavy. All right, so we just gained an extra person. So the next thing that we want to be building is some leisure hubs. Now these just provide a little bit of entertainment, and they do provide kind of an area. So we were going to place one kind of over here, and then over on this side, we're going to go ahead and throw one on the road there. Over on this side of town, if we could snag one in here, let's kind of use the tools, and it doesn't look like we can snag one in there. That means that we are not going to get entertainment in this area for some time, and it looks like we can place one there. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, not inside of our border. That's a bummer. So we're gonna have to try to expand our border just a little bit further. Do I have a spot where I can place this to expand it? And I do. So we're gonna throw that right there, and then once that's built, then we'll go ahead and expand out just a touch more. We do have a few things that we've unlocked. One is the dwelling. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a dwelling kind of right here, and this will help with some local growing and some local harvesting. We have unlocked the fishmonger's hut. Now, it doesn't look like I have a spot that I can place one quite yet. Ooh, there's one spot right there. Let's go ahead and throw one right there for right now. And then in this area, let's go ahead and get another builder's cabin in order to kind of keep expanding down that way. So that will look really good in the future. If we look at our log cutter, every building pretty much has 2 options. This has harvest trees, and on this side right here, it has plant trees. And you can see that it's got 60% of the required experience. So over time, it will kind of try to do that task. And as it tries to do that task, it will gain some experience. We'll go ahead and connect up the road. And then once it hits a certain spot, it will start researching a general tech. Now, to see the entire tech tree, you can kind of click on the icon down bottom right, and it brings up this. And you can see that we start with the stone cutter, we start with the woodcutter's supply, and then the builder's yard, and then everything kind of fans out from there. And when we start with everything locked. They start ticking away. You're going to see that they start to appear, and then it starts working its way around. So it's a very unique way of doing research. The research isn't done at the research hub. That is just kind of a way of kind of spreading the knowledge. We can now construct a lookout, and we can now do scaffolding. So scaffolding is under the builders, and at least I thought it was. It allows us to kind of construct on uneven terrain a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and assign this to livestock. I believe we have cattle on this side, and we have pigs, and we have chickens. So let's go ahead and get pigs in one of these, and then in the other one, let's go ahead and get our chickens. Where is my other farm? The other farm may not have unlocked yet, research yet. Sometimes it takes a minute, and there it goes. So let's go ahead and throw the chickens in that one. As they haven't been researched yet by the Wanderer, it may take a minute before they start to explore them, and as they explore them, what you're going to see is they start to get a blue bar. And I thought these had a blue bar, but they do not. But we have pineapples, sheeps, and ions kind of up in that area up there. And then the next thing to kind of build is we're kind of getting into the alchemist workshop, which will kind of expand us into metal, and it will turn some of the stone and some of the shards that we have into metal and into alloy. Let's go ahead and throw that right there. Now that we have a couple of extra people, I'm thinking the next big thing that we're going to have to do is push into this area over here. I'm really in love with what they did with the art style here. I'm a huge fan of realistic looking art, but at the same time, I'm a huge fan of fun art, and this falls into that fun art category. It actually really plays nicely into that. It looks like our supply is a little bit low. We probably need for one of our next buildings to either be food oriented. We'll want to expand and then put another farm in here. So let's do that expansion first. Let's go ahead and throw the builder's hut right there. And then as soon as we get another couple of people, we'll throw another farm in here. Wood and stone look like they're holding, but I'm a little concerned that they're not enough. So it's probably going to go farm into wood into stone just to make sure we're kind of on the good there. We'll do a farm right there, and then we'll do leisure kind of tucked over here. And taking a look at our research, we'll go with research kind of down by the water. And I do want to check down here just to see if this area also needs tech. And we'll do research right there, and we'll do another leisure kind of right here just to make sure that our area is nice and happy. So for this one, it looks like we've unlocked a few new things. So let's go ahead and get strawberries for over here. I did see chickens joined, but they're already at another farm. I think we're going to do sheep after that. And then for over here, let's do yams as our second one, since we have unlocked the yams. That will be nice and tasty. We're getting to that time of year where, at least in the US, where a lot of people celebrate different holidays and different events, which yams are consumed in great number. So that's something that I think a lot of people are kind of looking forward to. Let's go ahead and get this one. Oh, you know what? This one is probably set for something which we do not have. Yeah, scheduled for pigs, but yet we haven't yet discovered them. So we're going to hold out on that. And then we have something over here. And what this is the woodcutter's cabin has now researched something, and it is a play wheel. So one day, while fixing an old cart wheel, the woodcutter discovered that it started rotating when placed on its side and seemed to be happening only on the wheels strengthened with a metal rim. So we can go ahead and place this around our town, and it will kind of give us a little bit of happiness, and it will advance our research just a touch. It looks like sheep are about to get researched. I would like another explorer to kind of expedite that system just a touch further, and it doesn't look like we have any additional people for the moment. So we're going to wait just a moment, and then we're going to go ahead and get another person scheduled up for that. All right, so this area is coming together pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and throw our next forester in here. Wood is getting really low. I think we're going to throw our next stone cutter kind of right in there. That should hopefully help. And I'm not sure why this builder's cabin is not building. So I might go ahead and cancel it out temporarily, and then we'll go ahead and try to replan it and see if the building site just bugged out and maybe it couldn't get a good rotation on the road there. So we'll give that a minute and we'll kind of take a look at that. We do have some more openings that we can build some more things, and what we'll probably want to do is expand this way even further yet. So let's go ahead and get another builder's cabin kind of out here at the edge. I think with that, let's go ahead and get our alchemist forge and unlock the tinkers. I don't remember building an alchemist forge, and apparently we did. That's sometimes my mind is that way. So I guess we'll get the tinker's forge next, the tinker's workshop, and that will start getting us some of the tools needed to do the upgrades. And that would explain why we're a little bit low on our wood, because I think it burns wood in order to produce the iron. So we're going to be doing a little bit more expanding. Let's go ahead and get yet another harvester for some more timber, because I'm seeing that becoming a big issue. So let's get another one right there, and then we have some things that we can harvest over here. I'm going to go ahead and take those, and we're at a point where I'm going to go ahead and expand out this way and throw another Wanderer's cabin kind of in this general vicinity. All right, so with the Tinker's Workshop up and going, we have started producing up some iron tools, and with iron tools we can upgrade our buildings. So once all the required research is kind of in place, we can do that. Let's go ahead and see if we can find a building that we can do an upgrade on. So let's see about the farm. Not enough resources. That requires one more tool, so we'll give that just a little bit longer. And we can see a person over here who is coming in and joining. So with that, let's go ahead and upgrade the farm since we just ticked over. And you can see that now that it is upgrading, we have the additional 2 plots for more crops, and we have another plot for another animal farm. So let's go ahead and fill those in. I'm going to go ahead and we'll do capsicum. We'll do some peppers in that one over here. I think we're going to do cattle, and then on this side over here, let's get some strawberries in. I think that will kind of add a little bit of tastiness over to our garden there. I think that's looking nice. I really like the art style. I think the hex base for this game, with it being a round disc on the back of a turtle, really plays well. The devs on their Discord have said that they're hoping the game will be out somewhere around December or January of this year, and I'm pretty excited to kind of see that type of expectation. Taking a look at our resources, we're still a little bit low on wood, so I'm going to go ahead and head over and get yet another woodcutter in here. We'll throw it kind of right there for the time being, and then this area probably needs a leisure hut, kind of to make sure that it's nice and friendly, and then another one of the research hubs. And it looks like we're starting to hit one of our neighbors over here too, so we're going to get a research up there, and then just kind of make sure that this border is not contested. Let's do another builder's cabin kind of up this way, and I think the border is right here, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it right there to kind of push that border. We still have a little bit more room, so I'm going to go ahead and throw another builder's cabin up here. I'm that hostile neighbor that I will push my border as far as I can, and I will perfectly admit that. So with this, it looks like some of our resources are in okay shape, but I'm going to go ahead and throw an extra farm down just in case. And then it looks like we now have some things that we can do, like interacting. So we can put a lookout tower kind of on the edge of our property, and this is really good for primitives more than societies. With societies, it doesn't seem like we need them quite as much. And then it looks like we have the option to build a tavern, and what a tavern can do is it can trade with the closest other realms. So we'll go ahead and throw a tavern right here, and that will hopefully do some trade over here. And then once we kind of get a couple more people, then we'll do some trade on the other side. Look at that, we have 19 timber, so I am definitely expanding a little too quick there, so I'm gonna have to let some resources build back up. Let's go ahead and get chickens over here. I think we have done everything. Ooh, we'll get melons. That's a definite. Maybe pineapple, because that's something that we haven't done before. And then we'll try this again. There it goes. Now it will let me build it. It just required that I did a little love over to the farm first. So with this, we are starting to accumulate some tools. So let's go ahead and find another one of our, not our builders, but one of our foresters in particular, because we want to kind of expand those. And look at that. We did the expansion on our forest, or not our foresters, but with with adding additional foresters and our wood starting to catch up. Let's check this boil and not enough experience. Let's see if we can find one that's maybe a little bit older, that's maybe on the other side of our town. So this one, not enough experience. Okay, well, apparently those are going to be locked for a while before we up those. But the farms, we can definitely do that. And this woodcutter cabin we can do. So let's go ahead and upgrade that one, kind of get that one up and going. And as they upgrade, you're seeing some of these other things are starting to unlock. Now, what this is it's once it hits a certain point, it contributes to the realm. So I'm not sure exactly what this is because, again, not everything is implemented quite yet. We can see that most everything is now unlocked and it is now starting to tick on that right there, which is pretty cool. And I think this is a good spot to go ahead and say thanks for joining. We're going to go ahead and do a flyby and let's see the efforts that we've done. Again, a huge shout out to Recog. Beautiful work and keep it up, and we'll see you as you update the game.